Well, happy Thursday, everybody.
Hello guys, how you doing?
We are doing a bonus video today so that we can go over the last meeting that was in July in Otter Creek.
So it wasn't recorded, but we did get the audio of the meeting. So we do have some interesting information, and we'll go through that with you.
So the meeting was July 15th, and I know it's quite a while, but we just had found the audio for this meeting and reviewed it and went over it, and we wanted to let you guys know the outcome because there was actually a lot of meat in this meeting compared to the previous meetings.
There was.
And as you know, that we told you in the agenda, they were going to be selecting a new board member. They're going to be reading through several resolutions. So I have the the amended agenda in front of me, and lots of notes from the meeting.
Like 2 pages over there, I see.
I know.
It's a mess.
Crazy, right? So crazy Otter Creek. What can I say?
Man, and you'll want to watch this to the end because you will not believe what happens.
There's always a twist in Otter Creek.
Start us off, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so as usual, you know, the rundown, the call to order, the pledge, the roll call, who's there, who's not there. So let's talk about who was there. You have Megan, the lawyer. She was there. She's great. I wish she'd do the speaking the whole time because you can hear her so wonderfully.
Yeah. She's got a good projecting voice.
Yes, she's very clear, very crisp, very knowledgeable, but that's all I have to say. Too bad she doesn't do all the stuff in all the meetings. So you had her there, you had Laura there, Carl, Rex, Zim. The new clerk, Jason, was not there because he fell ill. So I know he had set up the microphones and everything for the meeting, but guess what?
They didn't use them.
Nobody used them.
Yep.
So finally we get a clerk on board
who's tech savvy,
who's able to do all these other things, and they didn't want to use the microphones. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But anyhow, and I do believe Belinda was also there.
Oh.
Because I did hear her.
Yeah, I think I heard.
She is the bookkeeper now, but she was still there, so that's good. So at this meeting, as we talked about, I keep looking at the agenda too so I don't miss over anything. Of course, they did the public comments reminder in order to be acknowledged, and I keep saying that because there should be a D at the end of that word, acknowledged, and it's not, so that irritates me. You must fill out a card and put it in the box. Then they go through the approval of the agenda, the approval of the minutes from the June meeting. All that was unanimous. We're not really sure all who was in the crowd because it was just audio, so we can't really comment on the crowd so much, but I can tell you that Don Severino was there.
Yes, he was.
So, but we'll talk about that more towards the end. So, I don't even know if Russell showed up. I seriously doubt it.
I doubt
seriously
it.
doubt
Because he could have
it.
taken his seat.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I think he's like done. Like he doesn't even bother anymore, right?
Yeah.
So they had a guest speaker, Nathan Kennedy, and he's from Dewberry Engineers, and they were discussing the Otter Creek Comprehensive Vulnerability Assessment. And I know that's a lot of words, and you're like, what's that about? So I know when I was there, they were doing grants to talk about these flood risks and the vulnerability assessments for the areas that are near the coast. And probably all over Florida is doing that because of all the hurricanes that have really gotten out of control, and they're getting worse, it seems, throughout the years. So they really want to get ahead of it and try to put a plan in place for when things get really bad with flooding. It's kind of hard to do though because Mother Nature does what she wants.
Yeah, so while we were there, the 100-year floodplain had changed. And so the line kind of meandered through the campground and did not involve the house, but it moved and shifted a little, and now the house is in the floodplain. It doesn't mean you can't build in the floodplain. It just means everything has to be elevated, and there might be other criteria too. The house is elevated. It's above the surface of the nearby roads. So that's what it had to be, and I believe, if I recall, it's 32 inches above the ground. So that's how high up the air conditioners have to be. That's how high your junction box has to be at a minimum. So I think the house is in good standing. But what they're trying to determine is where's the water table going to be next year, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, even 80 years from now, like next century. And they're trying to gauge what mitigations they may have to put in place. They talked about lift stations. Lift stations are usually affiliated with septic tanks. What they do is the sewage goes into a tank, and then the lift stations pump the water uphill to the drain field. So that's kind of what happens. What they might have to do is get some grant money. They talked a little about that, and they'll have to lift the lift stations up higher and possibly pump the water up higher to get it above the water table. So that's basically what's going on in these discussions. There wasn't a whole lot of detail.
So basically they're talking about all the coastal impacts, the flood risks of the different areas. Now, even though Otter Creek is further in, of course, than Cedar Key, and you may not have direct coastal impact, you're still going to have all the rain, and then where does it go, and those type of things. So it's still something they need to figure out. And so they get a planning grant to help pay for this. And the first thing they're going to do is go over the assets of the town, which usually is the water plants and any of the properties that the town owns. And they just do a whole vulnerability assessment and figure out the resiliency of the area and be able to do mitigation plans. They're talking about the completion of the project being in September of 2026. Now, they will have public meetings throughout the whole process, and they're actually planning the first meeting July 24th at 1 o'clock. And so that would be the board members attending. The public is welcome to attend, of course. It's an open meeting for everybody just to get more informed. And there'll be other people that are on this team besides Nathan at this first meeting to introduce themselves and get more in depth with the whole plan and the questions, because today Nathan was just talking about basically the overview, but not really getting too much in depth with the specifics. So they'll have future meetings for all of that. But it's pretty important, especially in areas like that where it does rain a lot. There are the hurricanes coming in. So you just want to be proactive, be ahead of everything. So when the time comes, you're not left scrambling and wondering what to do. Everything is kind of set in place. Of course, stuff is flexible and changes when it comes to Mother Nature. So, but you at least got to have a base plan set in place. So, yeah,
you summed it up.
So then we move on. I'm going to check the agenda also to make sure they're going in the right order. Then they're going to the old business, which was the rereading of Ordinance 2025-02, the W3C water meter fees. So this is basically requiring the resident participation in the Waukesasa, establishing the water service and the wastewater service when that becomes available. So it repeals the prior conflicting resolutions and ordinances, establishing an effective date then they will have to advertise the second reading and read that at the next meeting. Because they always have to do 2 readings, they have to advertise it, and then they can vote on it. But right now they're just reading it and throwing it out there. So that'll be basically, I don't think that'll really come into play for a while with the Wackasasa. I know I'm
Yeah.
saying that wrong, but
Yeah.
I always do.
They have to run that pipeline, and they haven't even gotten all the funding approved for all that yet. So it's gonna. They've been saying
It's
10
going to
years.
be a little while.
It's gonna be a decade.
But
at
they're
least.
getting that in place for whatever fees they're going to be charging, and then eventually hooking up septic into all that. So it really won't come into play for quite a while, I'm sure. But then again, you never know in Otter Creek, right?
Yeah, it's always a. I'm still shaking my head over the end of this. Wait till we get to the end. Oh my goodness.
So, new business we're going into next. Now, the first thing on the new business was choosing the new council member. They were talking, I guess they had several letters of interest that they had already collected. And I still am going back to how weird this is, because previously they would have announced that they were accepting the letters of interest in the meeting, and it would have been a longer process. And I guess they just did that by way of their little boards with posting that they were accepting the letters of interest.
Yeah.
Which seems odd because not everybody reads those boards. Actually, hardly anybody reads those boards, I think.
But hardly anyone goes to the meetings either. So how would they
So
ever know?
how would you know? It's
Usually it ends up being a hey you. They knock on doors and they ask and they solicit.
Is it like the Uncle Sam poster?
That's usually,
we want
We
you.
want you, yeah. So that's usually how that happens.
So they did go over the letters. They did not say who all put letters in. They didn't discuss any of that. You just know by who people were nominating 2 of the names. And first, Carl had recommended Barbara Tomlinson.
Yes.
And I wasn't really sure who that person was because I didn't really know that name. And then Laura, she recommended Stuart.
Stuart.
So I knew Stuart
I
would
was like,
put in a
Laura,
letter.
what are you thinking?
I knew that he would put in a letter, but you know they're buddies.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me in the least.
And
then Rex.
Rex followed up with the same person,
Barbara Tomlinson.
Barbara Tomlinson. Now we think she is the sister of Belinda.
So then they voted and they swore in Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why we think they're related is because during the swearing in, Zim was telling Barbara that she would not be able to vote on anything that pertained to Belinda.
It'd be a conflict of interest.
Right. So that's why we believe that. And there was, I don't know if it's her sister, but there was a lady who's been attending the past couple of meetings that's been sitting near Belinda. So I'm assuming that's who that is.
Yeah. And I probably laid eyes on her too, but didn't realize who she was. And certainly didn't realize that she'd be playing a part on this board.
So that is who the new board member is, Barbara Tomlinson. So it's not Russell, it's not Don,
I didn't even know
it's not Stuart.
I didn't even know she lived in Otter Creek.
Well, she may have just recently moved there since we haven't been there, because there has been health problems with Belinda's
That's
husband.
true. But you're supposed to be there 6 months and 1 day, right? In order to hold a seat? Or...
Well, we've been gone from there for
Yeah.
quite a while.
So we don't
sir.
know when she got there. That's true. Okay.
We've been gone for, year and a half, more than a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been, time flies, man. I lose track of time.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so rolling on here.
Rolling on. So then we head into the reading of Resolution 2025-01, Magistrate and Code Enforcement.
Ooh.
So let me look at my notes here. that is a code enforcement procedure. You want to read some?
It's a procedure repealing the prior conflicting resolutions and ordinances. So it's very broad in nature. It doesn't get into specifics. It establishing the effective date, and so they'll start talking about that. That's all it does. It's saying that this new code enforcement is just being established, new stood up, and it supersedes all previous conflicting ordinances and resolutions. That's all it says. So they're going to have other ordinances that set forward what
Yeah, so now
the
they
rules
can
of engagement are
start
for
talking
permitting.
about all the
Right.
different codes, and what they'll do is they'll look up the codes of surrounding towns and within the county, and they'll cut and paste them and tailor them to the town of Otter Creek. Hopefully they tailor them to the town of Otter Creek. You got to be careful when you're cutting and pasting. I mean, it's great to look at other towns and the county to get some ideas to make sure you're getting everything you need, but you need to tailor them specifically to your town, because not everything is going to be the same in each town.
Not everything's applicable, and the fees shouldn't be as much as a big town either.
So that'll start the talks and them putting together.
Hopefully they change the
these
name of the
codes.
town. Remember they did something and it said Bronson?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you gotta proofread, and that's for everybody. It's very easy to miss stuff when you're rushing, to misspell stuff. That's why, I joke about that agenda with the word acknowledge that should be acknowledged. But every month, that same agenda keeps being put out. So, the first couple of months I didn't pay it any mind, but now we're going on over a year here, and they never threw in the D.
Nobody's proofreading this stuff.
So it's just a little bit irritating. But we all make mistakes,
Yeah.
myself included. So then we go on to the reading of Resolution 2025-02, and that's Levy County handling our voting.
Okay.
So I do believe, was that the second reading of that one?
I believe so, yes.
So that is authorizing the town to enter into an interlocal agreement with the supervisor of elections for Levy County.
Right.
So that means that they will now conduct all of that outside of the qualifying. The town will still handle the qualifying for the elections, but now they'll be using their voting machines.
You'll get the better voting machines and they'll bring people in and they'll be doing all the counting and you'll have results the same day.
Yeah.
As soon as they close the polls, they'll have results.
So that is what that resolution has to do with. Then they went on to the department reports. You have the administration, the maintenance, and I know Belinda, I heard her voice. She was talking about they're trying to finish putting up the lights on 3rd Street, but they do need more money for that. It is getting costly, and I do believe I heard mention that maybe the power company also raised their rates, which I guess they raised them a little bit more than normal by the sound of some of the commentary.
Yeah.
They were not too excited about it.
Well, that means if you want that light, you're going to pay more for it. Now, how important are those lights? I don't know. It depends on who you ask. You'll get varying opinions on how important the lighting is. I don't even know where these particular lights are. There's some lights on the park behind Otter Creek.
Well, we did notice last time we were in Otter Creek that there is more lights throughout the town, and it's good because you
Yeah.
have a lot of
Yep.
undesirable things happening at night with people wandering around where they shouldn't.
You mean the freaks come out at night? Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
She wasn't expecting that.
Oh, no, you're just making me think about those freaks that come out at night there, and
They're out during the daytime too.
they are. They really are. But not too early because they like to sleep in.
Yeah, they sleep in. You're safe from like 6 a.m. to noon. You're safe. Then they're up and you gotta watch out.
Okay, well, back to our regularly scheduled program on that note. So then Zim was talking about how he would like to go to a 4-year term with the seats instead of a 2-year term, and possibly labeling the seats. In other towns, they do have the seats labeled, which can be good and bad depending on the circumstance. It is good for the elections to have them labeled. It makes it easier, so then you don't have the same thing that has happened previously with seats falling in the wrong.
They're flip-flopping seats to their advantage.
Now, the bad thing that can happen when they label the seats depends on who the clerk might be, because she might tell somebody, hey, or he might tell somebody, hey, no one's put in for seat number 2. Why don't you put yourself in that one, because you'll be unopposed, where they're really not supposed to tell people stuff like that. You know, it's just supposed to be random. You pick what you pick, but that's the bad thing that can sometimes happen when you label the seats. He was saying that they would save at least $2,500 a year if they change to the 4-year term instead of the 2.
And that's because of the cost of the voting.
Yeah, the machines.
And
and all that good stuff. And
qualifying.
Yeah, they have to pay the clerk more to do stuff as well with the qualifying. But that would have to be put on a ballot for the people in the town to vote. That's nothing that the board can vote on. So if they want to do that, they need to get that ready for the next election to put that on the ballot.
They should put unincorporate on the ballot too.
They really should.
But they won't.
No, they won't. But they really should, because
well, you'll see why at the end.
Well, I think they've
another
been
reason why.
seeing why.
Another reason, just to stack another reason.
They've been seeing why. So then they were just talking amongst themselves, and something about building inspectors, the building inspector or whoever they have that's doing the permitting and inspecting is telling the town that they really need to start sending letters to the different people that are doing work on their properties without permits. So, and that goes along too with the whole code enforcement and these people being in violation of doing work and sending them out letters that they're going to be fined and have fees to pay.
Now, I think Zim is putting the cart before the horse here, because they haven't really established what the rules of engagement are for getting a permit. All they've done is establish the fact that you need one, but they don't go into the weeds about what needs a permit, what doesn't need a permit, what does it cost, what are the procedures. They're still kind of pulling that out of their hind quarter. But they need to get all this finalized, and there should be some following ordinances coming up that outlines the procedures for all of this. Other towns have it. When we go to the building department in the county, they can lay here's what you got to do. You got to do this. You got to have this. You got to have this. You got to have this. They don't have that yet. They don't have that established in writing yet. So I don't know how you can put warnings out for something that they can't back up on paper. That's the problem I have, and that's why that's my soapbox.
Well,
when we get to talking about permits, I get amped up.
I can tell you, it's not the first time he's put the cart before the horse.
Yep. No, it hasn't.
May not even be the second time.
No.
But I know often what towns will do is send out letters in bold writing and maybe throw in a few caps to see who they can scare.
Yeah, they're just
without having any verbiage to back it up.
I've seen that happen.
Or
too.
any enforcement. Even if you have the verbiage to back it up, you still got to have the enforcement as well.
The enforcement piece. Yep.
I know Russell loved to send out those letters with the threats.
Yeah, he would
to try to scare people, and then when you said, okay, well, I want to see the ordinance, I want to see the resolution, then he just, meeting adjourned, sue us.
Yeah, that was it.
All those type of things.
He'd shut down the meeting and shut down your comments.
So it's like, okay, well, your letter doesn't mean anything to me because you ain't got nothing to show me.
He would
for
send
it.
a cease and desist, but he wouldn't really explain what it is I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not doing. So It had no bite. It had no teeth.
It's
They
a
had no
scare
ordinances.
tactic.
It's a scare tactic.
So he didn't have anything to back it up. So it's like, okay then. Nice talking to you. So then they were talking about the water.
Oh my gosh.
And they're still waiting for parts to put the water back online.
So I guess it's been offline again. We didn't know that. But.
Like, wow. Those poor people with that, like they're paying for crappy water.
And they're paying more than we are here. We have spring water.
Yeah, they're paying a good price for crappy water. And they were talking about some people still having brown water, yellow water, and something with the bleach. And it staining the toilets.
And they're already at $24 for 2,000 gallons, whether you use them or not. And then if you go over, you pay more.
What about the deposits? Now, those deposits actually were put into place when Laura was the mayor, I believe, and Russell was the vice mayor, and they're ludicrous.
They did them wrong, too.
Well, the whole thing was done wrong, and that's something that I wanted to get changed in there because the commercial deposit is $500 and the residential is $200. Now that is completely insane.
Yeah.
That is highway robbery.
That's
on
a
the
lot
deposits.
because the meters don't cost even that much. And
No.
you're just renting the meter.
And usually when places do a deposit, it's like a certain amount of months worth of water bills. Well, how many months would that be? I mean,
$500?
that's insane.
That could be, trying to think what my highest water bill there might have been with the campground.
I mean,
now.
usually it's just a couple months worth of bills.
Maybe 40, 50, 60 bucks worth of water a month. That's with the campground. So you got 24 spots in the house. So yeah, it would take a good 6 to 8 months.
I mean, those are big chunks of money
More than that.
for a deposit, in my opinion.
5 times that. 30 months. Yeah, I was doing it based on $100.
So,
Oof.
all that money for crappy water.
Yeah, for water you can't drink. You can't even, really shouldn't even be bathing in that water. And you're washing your pots and pans and it's coming out orange and...
That's sad. Truly sad. So, let me check our fancy little agenda here and see
Just
if we
to
missed
compare
anything.
water bills while she's looking that up real quick. Our water bill here, and I know it's a different state and all that, but it's about where it should be, $16 for 2,000 gallons, and there it's $24. Okay, it's a difference of $8. But they can't drink their water, and ours is almost bottle quality water. Spring-fed water we get here. You don't have to treat it. Now the water's hard, but it's superb drinking quality water. It's good for you, actually.
So then they had the announcements for the children's table, which now meets up at the Trading Post. And of course for the Wackasasa meeting, which actually would have been Wednesday the 23rd.
Okay.
At 1 o'clock, and since they don't live stream, not really sure how that would have went.
Yeah.
But that was in Otter Creek. And then they move on to the public comments. And there was one
public
person
comment.
with public comments.
Guess who it was?
Who was that?
Oh, let's see, because we mentioned him and we haven't mentioned him again.
Who was it?
I'm going to say Don the Con.
Don the Con. Don Severino.
In the house.
Whoop, whoop. Don in the house. So Don had a comment. He was respectful with his comment.
He was.
He did keep it very short. It wasn't as detailed as I believe it should have been. Because I think you should give more details, but I guess...
He kind of left me scratching my head going, okay, I get what you're saying, but...
But isn't that what Don always does?
What's making you say that? Like, what's prompting you?
Doesn't Don always leave you scratching your head?
It's like he didn't finish the sentence almost. So what is it that Don said?
It's typical Don fashion. So his comment was to let Zim know that he is not following the charter and that he's not taking his role seriously. But you didn't give any details or specifics.
That's all he said.
Which I feel like he should have.
And then he went on to thank him for his service.
Yeah. And then Zim thanked Don for his service.
I look at her and I go, what was that?
It's so Otter Creek, y'all. So that was all. And then he got up and left. So, but, you know, I can't say in this case that I disagree with Don very much. I just wanted to know the specifics of what he was thinking there.
Well,
so
that wraps up the meeting.
What did you think about that meeting?
There's a lot going on there. I thought it went pretty well. It's still really hard to hear Zim, but on the audio feed that we got,
it was a little bit better.
It was a little better.
And there's subtitles.
And there's subtitles, so you can read it out and figure it out.
But
and you could back it up and replay it, back it up and replay it.
But you know, those subtitles too don't pick up everything.
They don't, but
which I thought was odd.
Sometimes they can get you close. Yeah.
So, what else you got?
Well, you want to break the big news?
What's
the shocker?
What's the shocker in Otter Creek?
Well, go ahead. I'll let you lay it out.
I'm going to lay it out.
Go ahead.
So, I've heard that there ain't no clerk.
The clerk left town.
So, you know what happens when there ain't no clerk?
There ain't no show.
There ain't no clerk, there ain't no show.
So guess who all walked off the Otter Creek board / council /
So it wasn't clerk. Just the clerk?
No.
What?
No.
What?
Apparently.
Is there a seat open for me? Should I go back to Otter Creek?
No. glad we got out. So apparently there was a heated discussion in the office. First, there was a calm discussion, I guess, between Carl and Jason, and they were working on an issue. And Zim came in and interjected, shut it down, and I guess some choice words were spoken. And Carl and Zim kind of went at it. Jason decided he quit. He walked off. He left. Belinda walked off and left. Belinda's sister, Barbara, she walked off and left.
Yeah, the new council member that they just sworn in, gone.
You have no clerk, no bookkeeper, and now you barely have a quorum again. All you got is Zim, Rex, and Laura again.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
And this is why they should unincorporate.
Unincorporate, put it on the ballot.
Wow.
We're shocked. We're shocked too. We just got this information today.
Like, wow.
So we want to hurry up and get this video out.
I cannot believe it. So my big questions now, you know what's coming up? The trim and the budget and all those things will be coming up, and it's very important.
There's a lot of work and there's a lot of deadlines, and you get fined
if you miss it. And it's very specific, as people might remember when I came in to the office, Mary
missed deadlines.
Messed it up, and she had messed it up the year before, so they were already
getting fined,
in trouble for that, getting fined, and it was like a hot mess. So me and Belinda got it fixed up, and now they're gonna have some problems again, because you know how long it takes to hire a clerk? Apparently years.
At least a couple months.
It took forever to get Jason in there. So that didn't last long. But that's what happens when you have good, sensible people and you don't treat them right. They're going to walk.
And we have it on good notes to know that Jason was good for the town. He had his head in the right place, his heart in the right place. We had been in some just minor discussions with Jason previous to all this, so we didn't know all this.
I was so thankful. I was like, this is going to be great. He's going to be good for the town. He's going to help them progress.
He set up the microphones. He was going to set up YouTube audio tapes were being uploaded to YouTube so people could watch them.
I mean, wow. But do I blame him?
No.
Nope.
I don't blame him.
Nope. And you know another thing that they're going to have a huge problem with? How are the bills getting paid?
They don't have 2 signatures to sign the checks to pay the bills.
How are those bills going to get paid
need
when
2
you don't have a
signatures.
clerk? You don't have a bookkeeper? So they's got some problems.
Yeah, it was probably Belinda and Zim were the 2 signatures. Now, who's the other signature? Jason probably wasn't there long enough to get on the signature account, but it doesn't matter. He's not there now anyway. So, I don't know. They got some problems.
They
So,
do.
we're reading between the lines here a little bit, but we're speculating too. And we know Zim, but she knows Zim a little better because she did work with him. Zim can sometimes come off hot-headed and very bullheaded and very stubborn. So he probably walked in on that meeting because we know what the meeting was about, but we don't want to get into that because it will point to other people that don't want to be mentioned. So it'll come out. It'll come out later.
Everything always
Yeah.
comes out. I don't get into the weeds of all those details.
It doesn't matter really why.
It doesn't.
Just know that there was a discussion. Zim came in. He disagreed with it, and he can be hot-headed. He can be very hot-headed.
Well, as everybody's seen, as these meetings have been leading up, and people have been alluding to the fact in the comments, if you've read them, that they are comparing Zim with Russell, calling him Russell 2.0.
And guess what? He's been seen cruising the strip.
So he's apparently doing a lot of the same behaviors, and that's so sad to see.
Yeah, I hate to see that because that's really...
It's pretty upsetting to have done so much work, and
They don't have enough people to stand it up.
y'all don't even know how much work.
Yeah, you need Zim,
was
but
involved.
you need the right Zim, not this Zim.
So it's very sad to see. I feel sad for the people in that town, but
Yeah.
y'all really need to unincorporate. It's not going to change your town to unincorporate.
And I'm going to go so far as to say, townspeople of Otter Creek, when you didn't show up, when you don't come to the meetings, when Madam Mayor asked you, begged you, pleaded you, please come to the meetings, we want to hear your voice, and you did nothing. You said nothing. Well, if you stand by and
They
do
were
nothing,
coming to the meetings.
somewhere, and it's not everybody, but you still had a lot of hardcore Russell supporters that didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to do anything. So when you stand by and do nothing, you're basically allowing bad to happen because you're not doing anything about it.
Well, the problem too is a lot of people were misjudging me as well.
They were.
Because some of them did not like you. So then I got the brunt of that, and it's really a terrible shame because we are 2 different people. So they kind of disservice themselves by basing their opinion of me based off of you.
Because she doesn't, they think, even Russell made this comment. He even said that you'll do whatever I tell you to do. No. We get in discussions all the time and we don't agree, and she's going to do what she wants to do. But you know, that's what I love about her. I don't want somebody to caretake. I don't want to caretake somebody. I want an equal.
I will not be a yes man or a yes woman.
She'll do the right thing, and I do the right thing. I just come off a different way to some people. Some people say I'm condescending, or I'm too forceful, or I'm too abrupt, or I'm too outspoken, or like I'm being right now, I guess. But she has a better way of talking to people that will just shut down if I talk to them. Now I'm telling them the same thing, but they just, I knew I could not get voted onto that board because, this rich white kid from Alaska, outsider, comes down here and buys the campground, starts, whatever. But that's part of it.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's part of it.
Descriptions.
I mean, that's part of it. Other parts was just, I don't even know, to be honest. I don't remember. But yeah, that wasn't everybody. Those who knew me liked me.
But anywho.
Right. But
you're chasing a squirrel.
I'm chasing a squirrel, but she's the better for the board. She was the better for the town.
But it's just a shame that the town is obviously reverting back to the old ways, going in the wrong direction. I'm super sad to see that happen. And unfortunately, that's what happens when people don't want to run for the board and don't want to get involved.
Right.
Because you probably could have had other people, and I know there's a lot of people in that town, they don't like Russell. They don't like Zim either.
Right.
So if those people would have run for the board, you could have nixed those problems. And, you know, some people have a problem with power going to their head, and they have their own agendas
That's what's happening here.
and
Those two
those
things.
type of things. And I didn't have a power issue because, number one, I don't know what power you think you have there. But
It's Otter Creek.
But
You
I
run a
mean,
meeting, that's it.
if you think that that's what you are and that's your goal, you're there for the wrong reason.
Right.
I mean, you're a voice for the people, and that's your role, and you should be proud and happy to do that.
Right.
But I never,
It's a
you
public
know,
service.
I didn't go around saying I'm the mayor of Otter Creek,
No.
but you know,
But
some
it's-
people it goes to their head.
And
I
it on,
guess.
isn't it on his website that he's the mayor? Or is that comments on his campground website that say he's the mayor? I can't remember. But
I don't know.
those two things don't have anything to do with each other.
But-
What you do over here has nothing to do with you being the mayor of the town.
So I don't know what's going to happen now at this point, because you
It's a
only
mess.
have 3 people on the board and no clerk and no bookkeeper. So even if they were going to have a meeting, they really can't without the clerk. I mean, I guess they have before with the lawyer there, but if one of those other board members decides to walk, you have no quorum either. So if Laura walked, for example,
Laura just got a lot more power.
then no quorum. If Rex walks,
No quorum.
no quorum. We know Zim isn't walking, but
You might be walking alone.
I don't know if you can even have meetings. You know, you might be able to have an emergency meeting without the clerk and the lawyer sits in. I know they had to do that at least one time when Mary walked out, but I don't see.
It's not the way to run a town.
I don't see what they're going to do now. I mean, they really need to unincorporate. And then you have all these meetings now, July 24th, which is today. They're supposed to be having this meeting about the flooding. How are they going to have that? So did they end up even having the Wackasassa meeting? I don't even know.
Zim sits on that board too.
And it was supposed to be in town hall,
Yeah,
which he still could have opened and done it, but
yeah.
like, what a mess. So
Zim thought he was stressed out trying to get
are you
his
sure you don't want to
campground.
move back to Otter Creek?
No.
I could get back on the board and be the vice mayor. I heard there's an opening
No.
or 2.
No. I mean, it would make for great YouTube content. Yes, but for life, quality of life, no.
Oh, it'd be horrible for quality of life.
No.
But I don't know what they're going to do now. But I can expect there to be no meeting next
Yeah,
month.
there's
There
probably-
shouldn't be a meeting next month, but
Shouldn't be a meeting for a couple.
I
of
guess
months.
we'll stay tuned.
If we get any information, we'll do a little video. We'll just throw it out on the next day like we did tonight.
As
But,
the otter turns
yeah,
and gets odder and odder.
I didn't see this
and
coming. I'm
odder.
still floored. Like all these people basically were in heated discussions fighting, and they all walked out. They quit. Wow. Like, I think Zim really shot himself in the foot here. When that clerk left, that hurt. That hurt. He needed that clerk and that bookkeeper.
I mean, it took a long time to hire that clerk.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
Because, I mean, honestly, nobody wanted to look at anything when we were trying to hire a clerk when I was there.
Yeah.
So, and then they just abandoned the idea this whole time until Belinda, I guess, spoke up. And, you know, I can't say I'm surprised with her walking either, because
She saw it
it's
all.
hard.
She saw it all
You put
going
in a
down.
lot of work, and people want to act a certain way.
Yep.
And
That's what
again, I
happened.
don't know all the crazy details, but I really don't need to know them because I know enough.
Yeah. So
from past experiences and living in the town, and
I guess he's king ding-a-ling now. I mean, he can run the roost, I guess, so to speak.
I don't know what roost anybody's running.
I
'Cause
know,
those doors are going to be locked up.
he's got to do the sweeping, taking out the trash, setting up the chairs. He's got to do the agenda. He's got to. I mean,
Well, he can't.
yeah, he can't, and he doesn't know how. He's not very tech savvy at all. He knows construction. That's his forte, and that's not going to help him here. So I don't know. He should walk too, honestly. If he walked, then the town would unincorporate, wouldn't have no choice but to unincorporate. And that's really what he should do. If he wants his peace of mind back and go run his RV park and do his business, and quit.
Some people need to check themselves a little bit more frequently.
I think he shot himself in the foot, and I bet it hurts right now.
All right, well, I guess we'll be hanging out,
If we hear anything, we'll let you
checking
guys
to see
know.
what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we can find a RV spot and attend a future meeting.
Yeah. The ghost meetings of Otter Creek.
We could run a meeting on the steps and take back our town.
Oh yeah, that's it. Have a quorum on the steps.
What do you say?
Yeah. Why
I'll
not?
bring my boom chicka pop.
We'll invite Dawn too.
That should be fun.
Well, that's it. That's the big news. And wow, what a shocker! I'm still like, oh my goodness. I still haven't absorbed it all. But
You always just
you're
wonder
surprised, but you're not surprised.
when it's all gonna end, all the craziness in Otter Creek.
Otter Creek.
I don't know if it ever will.
If the voting towns members are ever catching a part of this clip, unincorporate. You'll save money. You'll have no taxes. You'll have no board.
I feel like
You still have water.
unincorporating is the way to take back your town.
It is, yes, yes. Your name does, your town doesn't go away. Look up other unincorporated towns around Florida.
Well, they don't have very far to go. Isn't that town right?
What's
I want
that?
to say Moss Bluff or
Fowler's Bluff.
Fowler's Bluff.
It's near Cedar Key
I was
on the
thinking of
coast.
Ocklawaha. For a
Yeah, it's
minute.
just up the coast from Cedar Key. And
They're
They're
unincorporated.
unincorporated. They got a big old water plant. Used to deliver mail out there.
So
And they have more people than Otter Creek, I think. Pretty sure
Uh-huh.
they do.
I don't know any of that specifics, but
Yeah. Not much.
all I know is places do it
Yep.
and everything's just
And they
fine.
still have a town. Absolutely.
So might want to
Well.
check into that.
Check into that.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us today for all the lovely news of Otter Creek. So stay tuned and we'll see
We'll see
what
happens.
happens in the creek next. Up the creek without a paddle.
We're going to paddle on out of here.
Paddling on out.
Bye,
Love
guys.
you guys.
Love you
Take care of
guys.
each other. Be positive and show some love.
Bye, guys.